Welcome back to Words of Life. I'm Bernie Dake.
And I'm Cheryl Gillum.
Our series studying 12 women in the Bible God used to do the extraordinary ended last week. But before we launch into our new series on leadership, we wanted to share a few testimonies of incredible women God is using today.
And joining us for these episodes is our friend Ashley Escobar.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome.
It's good to have you here, Ashley. Full disclosure, she is a friend.
Yeah, she is.
I
And
am.
she has a very cool husband named Ed
He's all right.
and a beautiful son named Ever.
He's the best.
He is the best. And I love your social media.
Yes.
Thank you
you.
for sharing it with
Ashley's
us.
a very talented woman.
She's a dancer.
She's a dancer.
She's
She's
a-
an artist.
Absolutely. She's a singer.
And
Anything
she's a
else you want to tell your
Beautiful
public?
woman of God.
I actually have a new passion, which has been interviewing people,
Wow.
Yeah.
which is actually a part of what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
But I think there's such value in allowing people to be heard. And because a lot of people may not feel heard or may feel that their story doesn't matter, but you're giving someone power when you just sit there and listen to them. And that's not something I've always been good at doing, but I'm just in this season of life where I'm soaking it all in, hearing someone's story. So yeah, that's my new passion.
And I've watched some of those interviews. They're beautiful. So
Thank you.
well done.
Thank you.
Well done. So today we're going to hear from Major Beth Sturdivant. And so, Ashley, can you kind of set up this testimony for us?
Yeah, so Major Beth Sturdivant, I did not know her very well prior to the interview. But if you know Major Beth Sturdivant, if you've heard her story, it is very focused on her husband when he got COVID and was not looking like he was going to make it when that happened. And during that time, she also had COVID and was hospitalized, and they were separate. They were separated from each other, and one was in one hospital, one was in the other, and it just was looking like a very hopeless situation.
At one point, they called the family in thinking
Yes.
he wasn't going to make it.
Yes, they were making plans for his departure from this earth. And so to go through that experience and to make it out to where they are now, they're both happy and healthy as it is right now. And I think that's incredible. So when I heard her story, the focus was on him, but I thought in my mind, I want to hear her side. I want to hear what she has to say. And she actually talked a lot more about other stories that wasn't even about the one with her husband in it, that I had no idea, just crazy God situations with Major Beth Sturdivant. So you'll just have to watch the episode. She doesn't go into everything, but she's definitely an open book and would love to talk about any of these stories that she shares with us. So yeah, you'll have to check it out.
To most people that know me, young and old, I am Mama Sturdy. And that sums up who I am. I just want to take care of people. I just want people to be loved. So I am Mama Sturdy. That's who I am. My biological mother abandoned me when I was just a tiny baby. And so I had a mother who raised me who did not biologically give birth to me. And so she loved me as my mother would. She was my mama. And so I believe that from early on that I knew that I could do that I could love people. I didn't have to birth them to love them. I didn't always have hope. Even though I had a family that raised me and loved me, I think there's something primal in you that knowing that your mother gave you away. I grew up thinking I always needed to be smart enough, which I fell short, or pretty enough, right? I fell short. All of the things that I thought I needed to do in order to make people love me, in order for people not even just to like, just to love, because I was looking for that. And it took me a long time to realize, first of all, there was a Heavenly Father who loved me so much that it didn't matter what earthly people did. And that was a long road for me to realize that, but to know that He loved me more than anything. He created me with a purpose, for a purpose, and that he was going to be able to show that for me. What does hope look like now? I wouldn't say happiness, but it is joy. Even in the midst of pain, hope is true joy in knowing that God He's taking care of me every step of the way, even when I can't take care of myself. I would just say, especially to women, often as women, we look for our worth in things of this world or in other people, but our worth doesn't come from anything in this world. It comes from God. I had a young lady one time was going through a very difficult situation, and I didn't realize till years later. But I prayed with her, and I spent time with her, and I said to her, "You are worthy and you are loved." And I said to her, "You need to look in the mirror every day and say to yourself, I am worthy, I am loved." And a few years later, she said to me, "I don't know if you remember that day of the altar, but you told me those things." And she said, "I've done that." And she's a young girl who did not come from a great background, and she has gone on to go to college. She has her master's degree now, and I'm so proud of her and who she is. And I would say that to any young girl, middle-aged woman, older woman, you are worthy and you are loved, and your worth does not come from anything in this world. Who am I? I'm Mama Sturdy. I'm Austin's mom. I'm Aaron's mom. I'm Aaliyah's mom. I'm Gabriel's mom. I'm Gary's wife. But I'm also Beth, and I'm God's child, and He knows right where I am, and He's going to take care of me, even in the midst of the most difficult days of my life. He's going to take care of me.
Wow. I love Mama Sturdy, Bessie, Beth, all those things. She's an inspiration to me.
She is. I know Beth very well, but as I was sitting there listening to her story, I just kept on thinking, only in God's economy can you go from being an orphan to a mama who loves everybody. I mean, God totally redeemed her story in that way to be used for His purposes, to love a world that needs a Mama Sturdy. And so I was just awestruck by that. That God just flipped her story around, and through her shows unconditional love to so many people.
Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said, because I think a lot of times we think that something is unattainable, or we can't become something because that hasn't been displayed to us in our lives. But that's obviously not the truth, based off her testimony, that we can be who God called us to be because we are His child. And it's not dependent upon the family that we're born into, or even the one that we have, our friends, whatever status, but that God called us and He chose us. That's why we're here. And that's an opportunity with that alone.
I hope that you can be encouraged by people like Mama Sturdy. Well, we hope that you're encouraged by Mama Sturdy's story. She is awesome. And we've got a few more weeks of more stories just like this. We hope that you'll tune in and be encouraged. SalvationArmySoundcast.org. God bless you.